Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel Amok for All. Every day I'm getting millions of emails, requests, comments, love letters if I please can share my picture settings for my TV. And of course I can do this, but before we start we need to clarify a couple of things. And as always, keep in mind, those settings what I'm going to share with you are for my TV. Calibrated on my TV for my TV, okay? Most likely it will not fit your TV, but go ahead, try the settings because you can't harm your TV at all. And now, yeah, let's go to the settings. So in this video I'm just talking about the picture calibration, or how should I say, the normal calibration method on the LG CX for the normal or standard remote control. In my next video, what I'm uploading next, I will share my settings for the service menu with you. I was actually going to do this in one video, but then I found it's just too long, and it's probably better to separate because not all the people, not everybody has actually the service remote control, and on the other hand many people maybe like to do it with the service remote control instead of the standard remote control, which I would actually recommend to do it with the service remote. But today we're focusing on this one and my settings for SDR and HDR, and I have to explain a couple of things before I can show you actually the results. So I have just done a 2-point calibration. So if you remember, if you're watching my channel for a long time, back then I uploaded always Excel sheets or charts with 10-point or 22-point calibration. A lot of numbers. So what I found with my latest calibrations, that there is actually no point to do a 10-point or a 22-point calibration because there is not much difference, okay? Not much difference on my TV, and I will show you my result in a second because then you maybe understand what I'm talking about. So a little bit about this Excel sheet here. Everything what is in yellow color is a mandatory, a must setting, as you can see it here. Otherwise you end up with a different result, okay? So you will end up anyway with a different result because I have a different TV, you have a different panel, and so on, okay? So it will be not the same, okay? Keep this in mind. But if you change, let's say, SDR OLED light from 100 to 50 because it's too bright for you, then you change the whole calibration because there's a big difference then, okay? So also make sure always when we're talking about the calibration here, I'm using warm 2 in the settings menu. I will just show you this because this is very important. When we go to advanced controls, we go to white balance, and this has to be on warm 2. I'm doing a lot of testing, that's why it's on cool. So but this has to be on warm 2, okay? If you use this remote control, okay? Don't change it to warm 3 or warm 1 or medium or whatever. Use it or change it to warm 2 and then use those values here, okay? I will just send this to cool back because I'm using actually my service menu settings, so that's why it's cool. But again, service menu in the next video, okay? Again, this remote control, standard calibration, it's warm 2, you know, I will just leave it because there will be so many people coming up why you set it back to cool. Anyway, so warm 2, okay, and then use this value. So why I have different values for SDR and HDR? So what I found is there's a difference, and not really a small difference, to be very honest. There is a big difference because as you can see, so in the lower end actually there's no difference at all. You see the values are exactly the same for the low settings 3.4 and 3.4. So but for the high settings, can you see green is 10 and green is here 7, and then we have blue 2 and here is 0. So there's a difference between HDR and SDR, and I think this is most likely because of the different behavior from the panel, of course. So in SDR we just have a peak brightness, let's say, from 200, and in SDR we have a maximum peak brightness from 700. There is of course a different behavior, that's why we have a different value here. So also keep in mind, in SDR I did a color correction, not in HDR. I haven't touched the color correction in HDR at all because in my opinion it is I'm not going to say there's no point to do it, but it is most likely, in my opinion, wasting time, because as long we don't have TVs that can actually use or can how should I say, can really or are able to provide us with a REC 2020 color gamut, color volume, and so on, there's, in my opinion, not really a point to do a color correction in HDR. Don't get me wrong, of course you can have better colors or more more to the standard colors, better accurate colors when you do a color correction. But in manual mode, this is a pain in the ass, to be very, very honest. So that's why I left it. And again, I don't think there's a big difference, because yeah, the TV is not capable of showing REC 2020, full stop. That's why, in my opinion, I'm not touching color correction in HDR. I have done it in color in SDR, because you can see not a big difference, but it is a difference, you know what I mean? So that's why I've done it, and it's quite easy actually to do it. So anything, I think I just walk you through the settings menu before I show you my result. And this is for the expert mode. And by the way, those values are for all the picture modes. Okay, so it really doesn't matter if it's SDR gaming mode, it's SDR expert mode, and so on and so on. Yes, there are slightly differences. Yes, I found this, but most likely the difference what I found is between gaming mode and normal, let's say, filmmaker mode. And I think the difference is because in gaming mode we have a different behavior from the TV because of the lower input lag, so maybe less picture processing and stuff like that. That's why there is a slightly different color, gray color white correction, let's say like this. Also keep in mind, all my settings what I have done here are based on the game mode, because this is for me the most important mode. So I made sure that I set my TV to game mode. I did all the measurements for HDR from the Xbox with an external DVD. So I haven't used Karman at all, because to be honest, I don't like Karman. I used HCFR because in manual it is exactly the same outcome as in Karman, but without the bugs from Karman, to be very honest. And that's why I'm using HCFR. And yeah, that's what we get. So let me just show you quickly picture mode expert. So make sure this is set to 100. So everything what is yellow is mandatory, in my opinion, because otherwise you will end up with a different outcome. Okay. So, and when we're talking about changing this stuff, this is the most important thing, white balance. So again, make sure warm 2 as a color temperature, and then here you have your method, and you change this to 2 point. Then you can change here between high and low, and then you can change red, green and blue. That's all what you have to do. But again, keep in mind, for SDR content, use those values here. For HDR value, use these values, okay? So, and then you're good to go. And same HDR Dolby Vision is this value, okay? HDR Dolby Vision is this value, okay? So I think that's enough in terms of my settings. I will put this sheet up on the end from my video, so no worries at all. You can go ahead and copy and paste it. And now I'd like to show you HDR warm to manual. We are right here. So again, this is just a 2-point calibration. And let me explain what a 2-point calibration, how I'm doing this actually. So I'm measuring 30%. I can use the cursor here actually, 30% and 70%, which is, in my opinion, the sweet spot. So some people using 20 or 80 or whatever. I'm using 30 and 70, okay? That's how I do it. And that's our result here, what we have. Really, really nice. Okay, we're ending up at the lower end with a little bit, 1.7, 1.1. It's not good, but also not bad for a 2-point calibration. Also, keep in mind, in my opinion, a delta E error below 0.5 I'm considering as perfect. full stop, because it's very, very hard to get actually 0.1 or whatever. So this is really such a coincidence that we have here 0.2, 0.2. It's so great, to be very honest. I'm so happy, but everything around 0.5, 0.7, I'm absolutely fine. Because anyway, we can't do anything more in 2-point calibration. That's what we get. That's the best what we can do. And this is, again, perfect. So I would, so compared to a 22-point calibration, of course, if we look at this here, of course, we can correct this as well. So we're not ending up with 0.5, 0.7. We can bring this also down to 0.2. But believe me, to see a difference between 0.2 and 0.5, very hard. Especially we're not talking about comparing pictures or whatsoever. If you're talking about playing a game or movie or whatever, I assure you, you can't see a difference, full stop. Okay, so this is really good for just a 2-point calibration. So did I forget anything here? Of course, we are looking also on SDR cool. Where is my SDR cool? SDR warm? Here, SDR warm, of course, SDR. This is my SDR. The other one was HDR. This is the SDR settings, and you can see even we're using different values in terms of green or whatever, but can you see the result here? It's different, but it's also very good. 0.1 actually, 0.3, 0.5, 0.4. So this time it's actually better in the middle part compared to HDR. So SDR is better in the middle part, and HDR is better in the, let's say, 70 to 100%. But again, a very great result in my opinion with just a 2-point calibration. I am so happy. And of course we have the SDR color correction as well, and this is the result what I got here. The only thing what I really don't like is actually red and magenta, and I was not able to correct this. I was not able to get this close to 0.5, not at all. I'm not sure why. But that's how we're ending up. Okay, so it's still better than the uncalibrated version, because we ended up with, I think, 2.5 up to 5 0 delta E error, which is of course not very nice. This is still a great value in my opinion, with a couple of changes. Where are we? We are here, manual calibration. So here, just this value is what we have to change, or what you have to change, and then yeah, we are good. And what I have to say here, what I don't understand is, in terms of saturation, if I'm trying to get plus, let's say +5 in red or +5 in green, there's no change at all. Nothing at all is happening. Just if I'm going -5, something is happening. So this is something what I don't understand. Because to get actually the better result, I would need to have red around maybe +5 or whatever. Then I would have probably 0.5 delta E error, but it is not possible. The only way how it is possible, if I would actually change the color gamut from auto to extended or white, and then correct again. But to be very honest, I don't want to do this, because still I think the result is not too bad. 1.7, 1.2, it's not too bad. It can be better, but it's not too bad, and I rather stick with this than playing around with extended color gamut, and yeah, white is even worse. Okay, I hope I did not forget anything. So today we talked about the manual calibration, manual 2-point calibration from the standard remote control, from the picture option on the LG CX. And my next video, which I'm doing in probably 5 minutes after this video, I'm talking about the service menu, because you will end up with similar results, of course, but of course the service menu looks completely different. And this, by the way, is my recommended way, to be very honest, because it's so much easier. You have just 2 settings for SDR and HDR across the whole TV, full stop, across every input, every setting whatsoever. It's just 2 settings and that's it. You don't have to bother too much. I will show you this, of course, what I'm talking about when I'm doing this video. This was for the standard normal menu with the standard remote control. And again, I will leave this up a little bit, and if you like this video, just give me a like. If you're new to my video, if you're new to my video, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And for everybody else, I'm going to play this soon. I will do our first impression, first 20 minutes video, and also a HDR analyze video on this game, of course. So make sure, what is this? Doom, I haven't seen this. Anyway, not too much spoiler here. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like to see this. I know Digital Foundry was a little bit earlier than I with my video, but anyway, they don't need to work full-time as I do. And well, anyway, I will continue working on this one, so make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I see you in my next video. Thank you very much for watching me. See you. Bye.